Hey there. So, you think you know Vancouver, Canada? The stunning views, the busy streets, the charm of the waterfront? But what if I told you behind that beauty, there's a side to this city that most people would rather forget? A shadowy past filled with stories of strange sightings, lost souls, and places that seem almost alive with the echoes of the past. Tonight, we're taking a journey through Vancouver's haunted underbelly. From hotel hallways where ghostly guests roam freely, to a train station where spirits from another era still linger, and even an old restaurant that hides a passenger from beyond this world. This isn't just any ghost story. These are real places with real accounts that defy explanation. But fair warning, after hearing these stories, you might never look at Vancouver the same way again. So, are you ready to see what lies in the dark corners of the city? Because once you do, there's no going back. Let's start our journey somewhere grand, a place you might never expect to be haunted. Welcome to the Fairmont Hotel Vancouver, an icon of elegance, yes, but one with a ghostly resident that's anything but inviting. They say the lady in red still walks these halls, a specter from the 1940s, endlessly roaming her old stomping grounds. This story begins with Jenny Pearl Cox, a socialite who lit up the Vancouver elite scene. But her life came to an abrupt end, leaving her spirit trapped. They say she appears on the 14th floor, moving as if she's still on her way to a grand event. And always, she's dressed in that unmistakable red gown. Imagine stepping into the elevator late at night, expecting a solitary ride, and then you feel it. A presence beside you. Some guests have even reported catching a flash of red in the corner of their eye, a red that seems to pulse even in the dim lighting. Just as they turn, she's gone. So ask yourself, if you felt a cold touch, an icy chill, in an empty elevator, would you dare to look? Or would you keep your gaze fixed forward, hoping the ride ends before something else appears? Our next stop is a place you may have hurried through countless times. Waterfront Station, a gateway to travel, bustling with life by day, but at night, it's a portal to another world where ghosts from Vancouver's past wander freely. Built in 1914, this station has seen more than a century of travelers, and yet some have never left. It's not uncommon to hear about ghostly figures dressed in 1920s attire, dancers moving gracefully across the shadowed walls, caught in a silent, endless performance. But perhaps the eeriest sight is of the headless brakeman. Imagine that, a figure, hulking and intimidating, moving through the shadows, searching for something or someone lost. And if you happen to be alone there one night, you might feel a cold draft drift over you, carrying faint, distant music from a time long past. Picture the frail silhouette of an elderly woman waiting patiently for a train that will never arrive. You look once, twice, and suddenly, she's gone. Walking through the station after hours, you might find yourself wondering who or what is standing there with you in the quiet. Would you dare to look too closely? Now for something genuinely unsettling. In the heart of Gastown, surrounded by the echoes of history, lies the old spaghetti factory. Step inside, and you're greeted by warm decor and a cozy atmosphere. But among the antique furnishings, there's something more. One of the focal points here is an old vintage trolley car that sits right in the middle of the dining area. At first glance, it seems charming, a quirky addition to a family-friendly restaurant. But some believe it's a passageway for something not of this world. Patrons and staff have reported strange occurrences around the trolley, shadows darting in and out, silverware moving on its own. And then there's the conductor, a ghostly figure who appears inside the trolley, dressed in the uniform of a bygone era. Now, imagine you're there, enjoying a meal, and out of the corner of your eye, you see movement. A man standing inside the trolley, his gaze fixed on you. You blink, startled, but he's still there, watching. And just when you gather the courage to look directly at him, he's gone. Would you stay, or would you leave before the shadows close in? Our journey continues at the Vogue Theater, a place that's played host to countless performers, yet seems haunted by one silent spectator. Opened in 1941, the theater boasts a rich history. But ask anyone who works there, and they'll tell you about the man in the cream-colored dinner jacket, a figure seen by many, but known by none. He's often spotted in the back rows, or sometimes lingering near the stage, watching with an eerie stillness. People report hearing footsteps echoing backstage and doors creaking open without a soul in sight. If you're alone in the theater, you might even feel a sudden, chilling drop in temperature, almost as if you've been joined by someone unseen. Imagine sitting in the audience, the room quiet, your gaze drifting up to the balcony. You feel eyes on you, and when you look up, there he is, the man in the dinner jacket looking directly at you. You look away, hoping it's a trick of the mind, and glance back, only to find the seat empty. Would you stay to watch the show, or run while you still can? Our final stop takes us to Highcroft Manor, a grand historic estate in the Shaughnessy neighborhood. Its walls have seen decades of life, laughter, and loss. Now only echoes remain, remnants of those who've passed through its doors but never indeed left. This mansion is said to be home to several spirits, each with their own story to tell. A World War I soldier, forever bound to the place, a nurse who watches over him, and a woman dressed in vintage clothing, her figure flickering in the shadows. Visitors often report lights flickering for no reason, doors swinging shut as if guided by unseen hands, and footsteps that grow louder and closer down empty hallways. Imagine finding yourself alone in Highcroft Manor, surrounded by the dark, quiet rooms, the stillness pressing down on you. You hear footsteps approaching, but when you turn, there's nothing there. At least, nothing you can see. And as you stand, frozen, you feel it, a presence lingering in the air. The question is, do you stay to find out what it wants, or leave before you become the following story to haunt these walls? And so, we leave Vancouver behind. A city of vibrant life, yes, but also of lingering spirits and creeping shadows. By day, these places blend into the everyday scenery, but when night falls, they reveal a darker side, one that most people would rather not believe. Each location, with its own eerie history, reminds us that some things from the past refuse to stay buried. If you thought this was spine-chilling, wait. Vancouver isn't the only city hiding secrets, and we're only scratching the surface of the haunted and the unknown. So if you're as curious as I am, or maybe just a bit braver than most, hit that subscribe button and join us for the next journey into the shadows. Who knows what we'll uncover next? Before you go, let me know in the comments. Would you dare to visit any of these places alone? Or is the risk just a little too significant? Remember, there's always more lurking in the shadows, waiting, watching, ready to be found by those bold enough to look.